Hello everyone, welcome to the fYouture event by PAL. Please help me welcome our honorary guests. My name is Emily John, I'm PAL President and I'll be your moderator for this evening. Now help me welcome our AUC Provost, Dr. Ihab Abdurrahman.
Masal Khair. Good evening. I'm delighted to be here tonight to welcome our friends, students, guests, and colleagues to this installment of the Bridge Talk, organized by our peer advising leaders, PAL. The series is so named because it aims to build a bridge of guidance to inspire students towards excellence. And one way to do this is by exposing students to prominent figures who can speak about the journey to success and the challenges facing society today. Student organizations like PAL inspire me. We have wonderful, gifted students who are not content to simply receive the information we're offering inside the classroom, but who are taking a leading role in enhancing the opportunities available to them by attending our great institution. PAL was launched in 2014 and now has 93 students serving as PALs to their freshman colleagues, helping to ease the transition from high school to university. Tonight's organizers are fulfilling the vision of PAL by serving as catalyst to prepare freshmen to become self-directed learners that are capable of authoring their own experience at EUC, academically, intellectually, and personally. Tonight's event does not just fulfill the PAL vision, it also aligns with EUC institutional priorities, specifically that of education for citizenship and service. At EUC, we believe that a sound education not only prepares students for the professional success, but also for responsible citizenship and community engagement. The liberal arts tradition, with its emphasis on the broad education of a common core curriculum and the experiential learning of rich co-curricular programs, strengthens the curiosity and courage of AUC graduates and promotes civic participation. Tonight's event features three prominent Egyptians. Speaking first tonight is Dr. Ahmed Okasha, Professor and Director of World Health Organization's Collaborating Center for Training and Research in Mental Health. He's the founder and chairman of the Okasha Institute for Psychiatry at Ain Shams University. In addition, Dr. Okasha serves as a president of Egyptian Psychiatric Association, honorary president of the Arab Federation of Psychiatrists, is a former president of the World Psychiatric Association, among many other distinguished posts. Dr. Okasha is the 2000 recipient of the State Merit Prize in Creativity in Medicine, 2000 recipient of the State Merit Award in Medical Science, and the 2010 recipient of the Nile Merit Award in Medical Sciences. Following Dr. Okasha is Ms. Nihad Shilbaya, an alumna, and ExxonMobil Public and Governmental Affairs Manager of Egypt and Cyprus. Ms. Shilbaya has been named among the top 50 most influential women in Egypt due to her impressive work and contributions to Egypt in Amwal Al-Ghad Annual Summit, under the auspices of Prime Minister Sharif Ismail. I'm delighted to welcome Ms. Shilbaya back to AUC. Rounding out tonight's speaker, we are honored to welcome one of our own, His Excellency, Dr. Tariq Shawqi, Minister of Education and Technical Education. Minister Shawqi, departure from AUC was a pleasant and a sad news to AUC. Pleasant for us because now we have someone that we can trust on the education in Egypt. Sad for us because we lost a great colleague, and we hope that after he finishes his post at the ministry that he will come back to AUC. We miss his contribution to our great institution, but we know that Egypt is in great hands with him leading the transformation of Egypt's public education. Prior to assuming his role as a minister, assuming his role as minister and his time as a dean of AUC's School of Sciences and Engineering, Minister Shawki worked at UNESCO, serving as the director of the Regional Bureau for Science in Arab States, chief of the section for ICT in Education, Science, and Culture within the Information Society Division at UNESCO, and the regional advisor for communication and information at UNESCO's Cairo office. Before his public service, Minister Shawki was a professor of theoretical and applied mechanics at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, one of the top engineering schools in the world. I personally thank all of our distinguished guests for being here tonight and for telling their stories and encouraging our students to be their best for themselves and the community. And without further ado, I welcome Dr. Ahmed Okasha.
Thank you very much for your nice words. Very happy to be with my colleagues and my sons, daughters, grandsons, and granddaughters. It's the first time that I give a talk without knowing the title. I don't know, I was not given a title, so we shall speak together. Whether you want it in English or Arabic, I don't know. Which one do you want? Don't be afraid. Arabic or English or Anglo-Arab. You don't have the freedom to speak. Huh? It's election day. Speak. Do you want me to speak Anglo-Arab or pure English or pure Arabic? Huh? I speak in French. This is my first language, you see. So which you prefer? Okay, we'll speak about it. What I'm going to say, to start with, that there is a proverb, or not a proverb, a word was said by somebody who took Nobel Prize in economics and behavior. I always say it in the beginning of so many lectures. Don't believe that any nation will rise or will have renaissance. Don't believe it with the extent of military power or economic power or natural resources. The uprise of any nation depends on the morals of the citizen. لا يوجد نهضة لأي أمة بالقوة الاقتصادية أو العسكرية أو الناشونال ريسورسز اللي هو الحاجات الطبيعية اللي موجودة فيها بس بأخلاق المواطن. نبص لحاجة تانية. انتوا did you ever hear about خوارزمي اللي هو بتاع الالجوريثم؟ قال جملة لطيفة جدا. قال if we have values and morals we give it 1. If you have a lot of money, give it 0. We'll have a big family, distinguished family, put another 0. So we're 100 down. If you are handsome, nice, and so on, we'll give another 0. So 1,000. This means that if you remove the 1, which is the morals and the values, what will be left? 3 zeros. So if you have power, if you have posts, if you have good family, if you have even a lot of money, Without morals, you are 3 zeros. You want me to speak about success. Success is a very personal thing. It's like happiness. Happiness is a mental process. It doesn't depend on anything. But pleasure, this is something physical and momentary. Happiness is completely different. There is difference between life satisfaction and happiness. Just to let you know, ودي مهم قوي لكم, especially the fresh students here, the Pew Institute in the United States made a sort of survey to see life satisfaction. And they compared people from Africa, poorest countries, epidemics and fighting and poverty and hunger and so on, with the best people. And they were very surprised to find that the level of satisfaction in Rida Nafsi, it is the same. So they went back and did survey why, and find that life satisfaction depends on the social support. المساندة الاجتماعية. Number one, friends. And especially at your age, your classmates. This is number one to give you satisfaction. To stay with people, your classmates, at school, at university, at jobs, whatever it is, at your club, whatever you. Second thing, the family. Family is second. Third thing is to belong to some sort of, يعني يبقى عندك مجموعة, some sort of group. ممكن political group, sports group, agricultural group, human rights group, whatever it is. As long as you belong to a group, you go ahead. Let us now see how we can achieve some sort of what I call self-achievement. اللي هو الإنجاز. اللي هو نوع من أنواع self-actualization. حد فيكم قرأ كتاب لإريك فروم اسمه To Have or To Be؟ حد فيكم قرأ؟ No. إريك فروم ده راجل philosopher, psychologist, psychiatrist, كلهم مع بعض. كتب الكتاب ده. To Have or To Be يعني أن تملك أو أن تكون. Everybody of you wants to have a diploma, a degree, a wife, husband, children, job, villa, car. This is to have. But who are you? الكينونة. طالما أنت كائن أنت إنسان. Because if you are existing or living, cows are living. البقر ما هو عايش وبيجوز وبيخلف. ما عندوش كينونة. ما عندوش to be. وحط لكم to be, وده الموضوع بتاعنا. بص لهم واحدة واحدة. أنت هتعمل إيه؟ Number one, to have an identity. هوية. أنتوا إيه؟ اللي قاعدين هنا إيه؟ هوية عالمية؟ Nonsense. You have to belong to a certain identity. احنا مش عارفين لغاية دلوقتي. كتير قوي منكم خاصة اللي بيتربوا في جامعات أجنبية. Do you have an Egyptian identity? Or you have an Arabic identity? Or you have an African identity? You have an Islamic identity? You have a Christian identity? You have a Mediterranean identity? Who are you? They said that we are going parallel with each and we are very, no. This is bad for the national security. You have to belong to some identity. This is number one for Eric Fromm, for anybody who wants self-actualization. The second thing about after the الهوية زي ما احنا قلناها اللي هي هنقولها ايه؟ انا استنى، انا كنت كاتبها بس. belonging، الهوية، بعدها الانتماء. يعني ايه الانتماء؟ You have to belong to somewhere. I have so many people، أنا أقولها بالنسبة لي أنا. أما رحت البعثة في لندن، when I went to take my higher degrees from England and Britain, we were 4 in the mission في البعثة بتاعتنا. Nobody came back. I was the only one to come back. It was during Nasser's time, and I knew that I'm coming to take a salary of 22 pounds, معيد في الجامعة. And I was offered jobs, and at that time, she was my girlfriend, not my wife. She told me, "You are a very proud man. Don't go with them. I know you will have." شوف بقى النقطة المهمة أنا بقولها، بجايب من إيريك فروم مع اللي بيحصل معايا. كلهم هاجروا لبلاد أنا كان عرض عليا في بريطانيا وفي أمريكا، كندا وأستراليا. الوظائف طبعا 50 ضعف اللي كنت هاخده أما رجعت مصر. لكن كان عندي انتماء غريب جدا، إن I wouldn't leave it whatever happens. صغير جدا يعني، أنا خدت كل شهاداتي كان عمري 28 سنة، 2 دكتور، واحدة بطنة، واحدة أمراض نفسية، واحدة من إدنبرا، واحدة من لندن، كل الحاجات ديت، ورجعت 28 هنا. ما حدش فيهم، they were very intelligent people، ما حدش فيهم أبدا وصل إلا إن هو دكتور طبيب نفسي في أحد المقاطعات أو الولايات في أمريكا أو كندا أو حاجة. واللي جه بلده was elected by the whole world as president of the Egyptian Psychiatric Association, president of the World Psychiatric Association، رئيس الجمعية العالمية للطب النفسي. More than 200,000 psychiatrists، 138 member societies، the largest medical organization. This is when you feel. وبعدين أقول لكم حاجة تانية عشان ما أزودش عليكم وعشان أدي فرصة الإخوة هنا هوت. إذا بصيتم أنتم للطيور، birds، they fly from one continent to another and they go back to their nest. ليه؟ fish بيعوموا المحيطات كلها وبعدين يرجعوا تاني في مكانهم الأصلي. We have these genes of اللي هو belonging، الانتماء. We have it. We don't feel it. ولكن كل عارف زملائي دولت، شوف لنا مكان، أنا عاوز أتدفن في مصر. يا ابني أنت بقالك 55 سنة بره، ما تتدفن بره ويكون أنظف شوية، ممكن يعمل لك كريميشن تتحرق وتبقى حاجة نظيفة جدا. هنا ممنوع، هنا ممنوع، بدل ما تتدفن والدود ياكلك وبتاع القرف ده. ها؟ فبالنقطة أبد يقول لهم أنا أشوفكم بقى 55 سنة تيجوا مصر عشان تدفنوا؟ استنوا أنا ما أنا قولوا للولاد يا بتاع، المهم جبت لهم المقابر بتاع إيه ده؟ يعني معاهم فلوس كويس وكلهم مبسوطين، حتى زي ما يكونوش خدوا انترناشونال بوست أو حاجة. إيه اللي بيرجعهم؟ انتماء. ثالث حاجة بقى، يعني احنا قلنا دلوقتي الانتماء البلونجينج، وقلنا الايدنتيتي، وقلنا الروتس. ده اللي بقول لك الروتس. You have to belong to your roots. You are not achieved yourself if you make yourself somebody else. You can be British and Egyptian, you can be American and American, you can, but actually you are what? Unless you know this, you will never be having self-actualization. Whatever money you have, whatever power, whatever posts. وبعدين أهم حاجة بقى اللي تديكم سعادة كلكم، the other، تجاوز الذات، self-transcendence. Self-transcendence, all philosophers, all religions, whether heavenly religion or non-heavenly religion, that the value of the other more than yourself. Well, I think all over the world, the military institutions have what we call the scientific morals، اللي هي number 1. شوفوا بقى دي 3 حاجات: 3 حاجات لازم تعرفوها كويس قوي اذا كنتوا عاوزين توصلوا انتوا للبتاع اللي هي بنسميها سيلف دايركتدنس، المصداقيه، discipline, perfection, responsibility and love to work. الاتقان والمسؤوليه، تحمل المسؤوليه والانضباط وحب العمل. نمرة 2 cooperativeness، روح الفريق، cooperation. مفيش أي واحد بينتج بدون cooperation. وثالث حاجة تجاوز الذات. الناس بيموتوا، ولادنا ولاد عمنا في سينا دلوقتي احنا قاعدين في التكييف، ما بيطلبوش بزيادة ماهية، ما بيطلبوش بأكل أحسن، ما بيطلبوش بكهرباء، بيموتوا. Why? Self-transcendence. Nobody will achieve success from you unless he has the 3 parts اللي أنا قلتهم دلوقتي: المصداقية والتعاون وتجاوز الذات. طبعا انتم ما كنتوش عارفين بالعربي السيلف ترانسندنس يبقى ايه، وانا قلتها لكم اهو عشان تعرفوا عربي كده. المهم، فنيجي بقى لاخر حاجه قالها إريك فروم: to have something about your futuristic goal. يكون عندك هدف مستقبلي، رؤيه مستقبليه. انا عاوز ابقى ايه؟ رؤيه مستقبليه. اذا طبقتوا ده على نفسيكم، الحاجات اللي قلتها ديت، تاكدوا ان كنتم مع بقى الاصرار، يعني perseverance، اصرار. واهم من الاصرار الصمود، resilience. تتخبط تقف تاني، تتخبط تقف تاني، لدرجه ان احنا بنقول ساعات النجاح هو الصمود للفشل. تسقط مره تقوم انجح، تنجح مره بتاع. وعندنا ناس احسن دكاتره في مصر سقطوا في الدكتوراه 20 30 مره. ولا رايك ايه يا دكتور؟ دول اتوضبوا دلوقتي بينجحوا من اول مره. اللي ينجح من اول مره ده نجاحه مش هيكون في صمود. الصحه النفسيه يا جماعه اول حاجه فيها المنتال هيلث، اول حاجه فيها resilience against any pressure, resilience against pressure and anger management. يعني الصحة النفسية أهم حاجات كتير مش هتكلم فيها، ولكن أهم حاجة فيها القدرة على الصمود أمام المحن وأمام الكروب. نمرة 2 إدارة الغضب، يعني ما يبقاش عصبي من أقل حاجة. مش الصحة النفسية، الصحة النفسية غير المرض النفسي يا جماعة خالص يعني. فإذا جينا إحنا دلوقتي، قريت مقالة امبارح مكتوب وسط حرام، بالصدفة كده أقراها لقيت مكتوب يقول لك إن بيتكلم على مستشفى الطب النفسي في العباسية، وقالت قبل ظهور أحمد عكاشة مستشفى المجانين. ده يجيبني إيه الفيوتشرست جول بتاعي وأنا هناك. كنت بتفرج، حد فيكم ما اتفرجش على 70 ياسين في مستشفى المجانين؟ كلكم اتفرجتوا عليها؟ كلكم مش كده؟ هذه كانت صورة المريض النفسي والطبيب النفسي. الطبيب النفسي عيان أكتر من المريض النفسي. واسمه لطفي كان، ولا كان اسمه ولا لطفي حاجة تانية؟ هو كان ايه لطفي ومين تاني؟ انت شفتها طبعا، حتى اذا كنت امريكاني وخواجه وكل كلنا شفناها. الصورة دي كانت مزعلاني جدا، خاصة ان انا لما اتعلمت وانا في طالب في الطب كانوا بياخدونا في اتوبيس يودونا مستشفى العباسية ويفرجونا على ناس نضحك عليهم. وانا فاكر طبعا الحاجات، يعني كان في واحد بيجيب الجرايد واحنا قاعدين كنا بنقول 10 15 مع اساتذتنا من المستشفى العباسيه الله يرحمهم كلهم، فيقول له تعالى يا عم محمد. كان بيجيب القهوه للدكتور استاذ اللي بيتكلم معانا وبتاع، وبعدين يقول لك ايه يا رب. يقول له ايوه. هو كان فاكر نفسه ربنا، فاللي بيجيب القهوه ده طبعا كل الناس بتضحك ان هو ربنا، هو فاكر نفسه ربنا، لكن يعمل قهوه لانه بيعمل خير للناس، ما يقدرش يعمل زي كده. الصوره دي المتني جدا، ولذلك كان هدفي اول ما رجعت من بره ازاله الوصمه. To remove the stigma on mental patients and mental illness. I don't care about the psychiatrist. And I remember when I came and I found that كان اسمها يا جماعه in Arabic امراض عقليه، ومستشفى امراض عقليه او مستشفى خنكه، مستشفى المجانين، والسرايا الصفراء. هي كانت سرايا فعلا في الاول قبل ما تبقى مستشفى يا جماعه، يعني كانت سرايا واتحرقت وكانت لونها اصفر فوهبوها للمرضى العقليين. ده اصله كانت في الصحراء، ما كانتش في وسط العباسيه كده في وسط شارع صالح سالم والحاجات دهيت. فكان اهم حاجه عندي ان انا اغير هذه المهمه، فعملت سنه 65 غيرت كلمه امراض عقليه وسميتها الطب النفسي، psychological medicine، لان الناس ما كانتش تقدر الفرق بين السيكولوجي والسايكاتري. فقلت حط ميديسن، psychological medicine، ومشيت في كل البلاد العربيه كلمه الطب النفساني. قبل كده كانت امراض عقليه ونفسيه، ما كانش طب نفساني اللي هو موجود دلوقتي. واستمريت، كنت اول واحد اطلع في الاعلام، مش عشان ابان بلون كرافته حلوه ولا لون بتاع كذا، لا، لان صوره الطبيب النفسي كان هو عيان اكتر من مريض. يعني the image of the psychiatrist that he is more sick than the patient himself. فقلت واحد يطلع، كان تلفزيون اسود وابيض وانا فاكرها تماما، كانت مع ليلى رستم وكان اسود وابيض، وجالي انيس منصور المعد في العياده، وقلت له ده بتعمل نجمك المفضل، وكان العقاد وطه حسين موجودين. قال لي اه. قلت له طب انا هعمل ايه؟ انا عمري ما طلعت في التلفزيون. قال لي، قلت له انا مش نجم ايه، انا معيد لسه هترقى مدرس في الجامعه يعني. المهم نصمم ان انا لما اكون موجود. دي كانت اول مره طبيب نفسي يظهر في الاعلام العربي، كانت حوالي 66 67، ما كانش دخل ملون. ودلوقتي شوفوا دلوقتي ما فيش حد من تلامذتي ما بيطلع، ما فيش محطه تلفزيون ما فيهاش طبيب نفسي. هل دي اثرت فيوتشرستيك جول. فاذا كنتوا عاوزين تنجحوا 4 حاجات: البرسيستنس، المثابره، الريزيلينس، الصمود. 3 انك انت تنجح كل يوم. هتقول لي يعني ايه؟ ما تستناش اخر السنه ولا اخر الترم. Every day you should succeed. You should tabulate your life. حط دي هتاخد ساعتين 3 ساعات 4 ساعات، خد انا اذاكر النهارده بحيث انك انت النهارده نجحت. ما تستناش بعد 3 اشهر او 6 اشهر، ما تستناش سنه. This is what I used to do. لدرجه ان انا وانا بذاكر بره كان في الدكتوراه بتاعتي في الممبرشيب بتاعت الاوضه بتاعتي، انا عشت في المستشفيات ال5 سنين في انجلترا، ما عشتش في شقه مع زملاء، كنت عايش جوه المستشفى عشان اشوف العيانين الساعه 3 الصبح و4 الصبح بيعملوا ايه. لان الدكتور بالليل ما بيشوفش، حكيمه بتكلمه عيان مهايج اديله حقنه، العيان مش عارف ايه اديله حبايه. He doesn't know what happened. فقلت لا انا عاوز اطلع، يعني I feel them, I live with them. ففي هذا الوقت اللي كنت بعمل فيه كل الحاجات دهيت، كان مخي طول الوقت هنا هعمل ايه للمصريين اللي عيانين بالمرض النفسي. شوفوا دلوقتي، يعني ايام زمان كنت اخش النادي اي حد شافني يبص كده مكسوف. دلوقتي بقابل عظماء ووزراء ياخدوني بالاحضان. فاكر لما شفتني وانا في الثانويه العامه وكنتش عارف اشتغل وبتاع، فاكر لما كنت في ثالثه او حاجه. فاذا كل واحد فيكم ممكن ينجح اذا اتبع ان هو to be and not only to have. Because if you be، اذا كنت انت عندك كينونه هتوصل للتمليك والتملك. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for these wise words. And now it's my honor to announce His Excellency Dr. Tariq Shawqi.
يعني مساء الخير. Good evening, everybody. أولاً, it's a pleasure to be at AUC. It's one of my favorite spots in the world. You're very lucky to be here, and congratulations for being here. And I'm glad, of course, to be with my inspiration, Dr. Okasha, and great friend. I'm proud to be a friend of him. And of course, Dr. Ihab, Dr. Ashraf, Dr. Sharif, all the friends here. But I'm always very happy to be with younger people, with you, and very pleased to be here. I wouldn't miss this opportunity. And طبعا, as Dr. Okasha said, the resilience and the anger management are the most important things for any minister to have, because I learned those two very quickly when I got this job. Maybe I'll just share with you a story in which you might find a lot of what Dr. Okasha mentioned through a personal experience. I really remember exactly when I was your age. It looks like it was yesterday. I was very surprised when I was updating my CV recently and realized that, wow, I graduated 40 years ago. That sounds crazy. I feel like I just graduated. I haven't done much, and I'm still building myself. And I never got the feeling that I'm done. I feel exactly the same way as when I graduated, and I really don't feel like I accomplished anything. And I remember my father, who was my idol actually, just before passing away, he was very sad, and we asked him, "Are you in pain?" He was like 70, and this man wrote 158 journal articles as a professor, and authored about 35 books, and he has an amazing career. And he said, "No, I'm not in pain, I'm just depressed." I said, "Why are you depressed?" He said, "Because I feel life went by and I haven't achieved anything. I have a lot in my mind, I want to do a lot more." So that was quite a shock, that he feels unaccomplished after all of this. So I guess the lesson I got is this is a journey, and the journey doesn't stop by a degree or by any success. It actually keeps going. You have to keep going. You have to create your dream and create your next move and create your next purpose and so on. So my first few years, I remember as a child, I was in a discovery mode. I just wanted to know what I really like. I used to like almost everything that comes across, and I get excited about it and then drop it and learn something else and so on. But speaking about virtues that parents also instill, I remember my father used every single day to tell us الحديث الشهير بتاع إن الله يحب إذا عمل أحدكم عملا أن يتقنه. فكرة الإتقان, perfection. And I remember him in one day. I always wanted to impress him, and the only way was to get good grades. So I had to study hard to impress my dad, and I got the top score in mathematics, and I was very proud. It was a very tough exam, and I got the best score. I got 58 out of 60. So I ran home and showed him the paper, and I remember him tearing the paper apart to pieces, and he threw it in the garbage, and I was speechless, like, "What, Dad, I got the top score here." He said, "Yeah, I know. Go down, bring it up." So I went on my knees and picked the pieces again. And he said, "Look at it." He was very serious, actually. I said, "What?" He said, do you see your handwriting?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Do you like your handwriting?" I said, "Dad, I scored 58 out of 60. He said, "Yeah, but do you like your handwriting?" I said, "Well, no, but why?" He said, "Because, look, did you write your name on this paper?" I said, "Yes." "You write your father's name?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Okay, next time you write your name, respect it, and respect the reader. Writing well is a respect of whoever is reading this paper. Don't forget that. When you write your name, honor it." And I remember that until now. I must have been like 10 at this age. Watching him work was quite fascinating for me, because he was working all the time, but he was having fun, apparently. He was not complaining at all. He was sitting on his desk doing papers in engineering. Then he gets tired. Instead of going out or listening to music, he just changes the subject. So he keeps looking at something else. That's the break. So the break is not to go have fun. The break is to change the subject. So he was always researching or reading or doing something useful, quote unquote. So I must have watched that very dearly, honestly. And then I remember finishing all the degrees, as Dr. Okasha said, in high school. And I have to say, I'm not really American. I'm very sure of my identity. No, I was in public schools, then Cairo University, and even went to the military. But the first time I really traveled for a long time was to the States to do my PhD. I was 24. All I wanted is to take this challenge. At that time, it was really difficult, by the way. I remember a time when there was no communication whatsoever. There were no mobiles, no phones for us to communicate. So for me to travel to the US was a real immigration. You are just shut off from your homeland almost completely. And I went just to compete in a new field, and it wasn't easy. I really felt the shock of changing the learning styles from however we learn here to the type of learning they have over there. It was really depressing. I spent the months, I felt I'm the weakest student in this classroom. Like, I was the top of my class in Cairo, and I was very proud of myself. I thought I'll be fine. I was accepted in an Ivy League, so what's wrong with me? And I just couldn't understand a word. The teacher says, or the students next to me who are asking questions, and that was clear that there is a void, a gap here. So I spent 2 or 3 months competing with myself, actually. I tried to do well here with this kind of new competition. I wasn't the top of my class anymore. I have to work harder to get there. And that was important. But the second man who really inspired me was my advisor, Rod Clifton. This man is now turning 80, and all his students, he has 38 PhD students now all over the world. We agreed to go and celebrate, give him a surprise birthday party in his 80th year. He impacted every one of us. This man invited me once to his home, and that was after 2 years in doing the PhD, and that was a huge honor to go there. So he took me in his car, and I was very happy to sit next to him. He's a great guy. And then I said, but your home is very far. It's like 30 kilometers. You drive that every day? He said, yeah. That's my best time in the day because, you know, while coming to work, I keep thinking of my agenda today. What's my purpose of going to work today? And in the way back, I asked myself, what did I do today that benefited humanity? I said, you ask yourself this question every day? He said, yeah, it's very serious. It's like, so between him and my dad, I guess the idea of having a purpose far beyond yourself, happiness and pleasures and so on, I related my happiness to having a purpose, to trying to wake up for a reason. Every morning, we have to wake up for a reason. We can't just live like that. So فكرة الكينونة وفكرة الهدف إنه I really like the distinction between happiness and pleasure. Happiness comes from having a purpose, from living for a reason. And I think this should be something we discuss in Egypt because a lot of people are seeking materialistic stuff. They think success is a degree, is a place in college, is a car, is a suit, is something. A husband, whatever. But that's not the case, actually. The real happiness, I think, and now we know after living all these years, is that it is none of the above. It's really living for a purpose. You might enjoy all other things in that case. And if the purpose is not clear, I try to really find it or renew the purpose. And that explains the entire career, actually. As Dr. Ihab mentioned, I just went to the States to get degrees and I got excited about things, applied math, so I went and took a master's in applied math, then in engineering, then a PhD in engineering. And it was just excitement. I go after the fun part. I want to do this. I challenge myself to do it. But at no point of time, I had a real plan, like I didn't know what I'm going to do in the next 10 years. It wasn't like that. I never wanted to settle for موظف يعني, that's not success to me at all. It was just being driven by an exciting goal, one at a time. So after having all the degrees from Brown, that was a great success given my poor beginnings, to achieve that and to write papers with the man I thought he's my idol and see my name next to him, that was just the greatest success. But then I just wanted a new challenge, so I went to MIT for a year. Then I wanted to prove I can be a professor here, so I applied for a position. It was just self-challenge. And interviewed, I remember, with 300 people, and I was not American either. So a foreigner in the US competing with 300 people for one position. And I remember the feeling when I was told, okay, we selected you, you're gonna start here in January or something. One more thing done. But they shocked me immediately after. They said, oh, congratulations, but you know, you will be 6 years in probation. I said, what? You like me, right? I said, yeah, but we have something called tenure here, which means that you are under probation. We'll renew your contract 1 year at a time until we make a decision that you're good enough to be permanently hired. Okay, so here is another challenge. So I spent 6 years trying to get that and prove I could get tenure. It kept going like this, and then at some point, I remember vividly when 94 came, I was in Illinois between 86 and 99. And in 1994, I was tenured, I finished everything, I became an associate professor, I just conquered everything. And I got a little bored, like I don't want to just keep going like that, I want something more exciting. And the internet was just born, at least the browsers and the new face of the internet. And I was fascinated by that, so I wanted something new to do. So I started doing my courses online as early as 95. I remember exactly, I put courses on fracture mechanics and mechanics of materials and elasticity online. And I used to teach myself how to write in HTML and how to do this by hand. None of that I had in school, but I really learned outside of school far more than I learned in school. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the learning journey never ends with a degree. It just starts. So you're just preparing yourself for a journey of more learning, and it's really fun. I was happy to learn Unix on my own, to learn Objective-C, Dr. Sharif, although I graduated from mechanical engineering, but because I was trying to do something with it. So there was a purpose. The purpose drives me to do the effort and to put the course online. So I did it and convinced the students and so on. And then around 98, I was really saturated. I just needed a challenge. The internet gave me a sense that I could reach more people that are not here, that are not in front of me in the class. And people started to ask me questions online from Mexico and from Brazil. I felt that was cool if I can reach more. And in scientific arenas, the publishing is a big deal, the publishing a paper and so on. But how many people read that paper? I wanted more impact than that. So I wanted a bigger domain of influence. And UNESCO became attractive, like, oh, I can be an international civil servant. Now that's a crazy decision, I must tell you, because at age 24, I just flew to the States. I spent 17 years. Now I'm 42 and accomplished. I have a car and I have a house and 3 cars and kids and family and everything looks fine. I'm tenured here. To decide to resign on my own will and go pursue another career is, in many people's dictionaries, a crazy move. But for me, that was a very simple decision. I just finished this mission. I need a new one. So I just parachuted back back home actually and took this job. The beginning was in the Cairo office, but after all these years, you're really shocked because I was in a different habitat. I sold the house and the cars and just came home and started all over again in a career that has nothing to do with the academic career. But it was a great journey. I spent 13 years in UNESCO, in Egypt and in Paris, traveled across the world. They liked me not for mechanics, but for the technology and education aspect, which I was interested in, which I taught myself. So they didn't hire me for the degree I had in Cairo University. They hired me for the learning I acquired after that. And I served 13 years with those new skills. And grew along by being exposed to great people around the world all the time. Then felt again that, well, maybe it's time to do something new again. So at age 55, I go back to academia. That's how I came here, got to know Ihab, who was one of my first friends here. But another shock was awaiting me here in 2012. I was talking to the provost at the time of recruitment and after all the interviews and so on. I said, I had tenure in Illinois back in, he said, yeah, but tenure is not transferable. I said, what does that mean? He said, you have to do it again. I said, really? It's 20 years later that I got tenure in 1992 and we are 2012. He said, no, you have to do it again. But because I'm the same person, I said, okay, no problem. This is actually cool, so I'll do tenure again. And that's not an easy thing. So now, look at this. This is even crazier. You're the dean of the school. The school is also going to examine you to decide whether you are tenured or not. So I had to prepare my files, get recommendation letters, prove that I deserve it, and go for a test, which we did in 2013. But now I had white hair, and I was 56. The funny part, I was asking some people I knew at Illinois to write me recommendation letters. They thought I'm a lunatic because 23 years later, I'm asking them to write me recommendations for tenure, which I had when I was there. But it is, I guess, the drive to keep being challenged and keep learning and delivering and so on. Now, what we are doing now, this job I didn't choose really, what I'm doing now, but the reason I'm enduring it, it's the most difficult job I've ever had in my career. I mean, anything I've done before was far easier and controllable. This one is real challenge, but maybe that's why I like it. It pays nothing, and I guess I've never been, يعني عمري ما اتشتمت في حياتي قد ما اتشتمت في السنة دي. But the challenge, the impact, the promise, at least the potential. If we do something right, it will impact so many people. And that's the فاكر لما أبويا كان بيقول محدش nothing will be left when people die other than two things. ولد صالح يدعو له وعمل ينتفع به. عمل ينتفع به دي is very important. يعني which is what Clifton, الراجل اللي ما كانش مسلم قال لي أنا بسأل نفسي السؤال ده عملت ايه النهارده كان مفيد لحد تاني مش له هو. it's the same idea. فالبوزيشن ده الاتراكشن فيه is to be able to achieve that. And we discussed that for months and months with Dr. Okasha in many settings, how to do that, the dream to change education, to change life for the next generations. And I'm working with Dr. Dina on many aspects. حضرتك تتكلم على الbeing, how to be. You might be happy to know that the new curriculum we are designing for our next generation, اللي هم الأطفال KG1 و KG2, عاوزينهم يعيشوا حياة أفضل من اللي احنا عشناها. We divided the skills to 4 groups, thanks to Dr. Dina. مسمينهم skills to know, skills to work, skills to live, and skills to be. ودول كلهم already identified. فيعني حضرتك طمنتنا ان احنا ماشيين صح. ف to to have this يعني السنة الجاية داخلين النظام الجديد ده 2.5 million children. ده بالنسبة لي مسؤولية بس في نفس الوقت very challenging اللي هو that's the fuel that keeps you going. If we can do something that impacts all these people and the generations طبعا it's worth all the effort and worth all the نستحمل بقى الشتيمة ونستحمل ال uphill battle وكل حاجة. all I'm saying is keep your eyes on a purpose. Always define مش وظيفة مش عربية مش فلوس. What do you want to achieve? What will make you happy? Proud that you did it. ده هيخلي الحياة a lot more colorful and enjoyable. It's a wonderful journey يعني. Do it while having fun. Always have fun in doing that, in pursuing your dream. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tariq, for these wise and enlightening words. Now, it's my honor to welcome Ms. Nihat Shilbeya. She's from ExxonMobil, and she was voted one of the top 50 influential women in Egypt.
First, it's an honor to be here, and I'm humbled with the great figures I'm sitting with. مش عارفة هقول إيه بعد الدكتورز ما اتكلموا. I'm an AUCN, and I'm very happy to be around the new generation. I see some familiar faces, friends, as well as friends of my daughter, because my daughter goes to AUC. She didn't attend طبعا علشان ما أقولش كلام أقرصها فيه يعني. I've prepared many speeches for my business, يعني, as I'm the Public and Government Affairs Manager for ExxonMobil Egypt, and there's a lot of talk to external parties, whether it's government, whether it's business stakeholders, and it's a lot easier than speaking to a group like you. ليه؟ لأن I've been told I should be giving you some tips of how to be successful, and this is a great responsibility. صعب قوي. ان انا ابقى على كتفي حمل ان اقول لكم how to go on لان you are very very crucial to the future of this country, especially during the period that we're passing through. It's very crucial that you develop yourselves and find the path عشان تقوموا البلد دي. كلنا حاطين املنا عليكم. كل الشغل وكل الكلام اللي احنا بنعمله ده it's for the future generation. We want to see you lighting and benefiting this country. So a big responsibility on my side. Well, I know it's also very difficult to convince you. This generation, I know my daughter in your age, عشان أقنعها بأي حاجة صعب جدا. I'll just give you some hints of what I went through. Maybe it's a different setting than what you're going through. أيامنا كانت الدنيا مختلفة. أيامنا we were not so empowered like you are. You are empowered. You're very much lucky to be empowered, to have the choices, to speak up. We didn't speak up as much as you do. We didn't have the choices. Our parents made the choices for us. You make the choices for yourself. So برضو دي بتحط عليكم a big responsibility in order to find your goal, find your path, identify it, know where your passion is, continuously develop yourself, evolve, change with the challenges. أنا شايفة إن أنتوا lucky وفي نفس الوقت challenged بكتر choices اللي قدامكم. As I was in AUC, the majors اللي كانت محطوطة قدامي كانت قليلة و I could pick and choose what I wanted, especially in I was given the opportunity and also I will relate to what Dr. Tariq said. Parents used to guide us and used to be our role models, and my father as a diplomat gave me a lot of opportunity to learn and get the education in different countries. I went to Pakistani schools, British schools, American schools, you name it. I was in Indonesia, in Germany, and all this I had to prove myself that as an Egyptian, I had to be successful. I had to go back home and be successful and be outstanding. So the uniqueness is sometimes a power that you have to use. We were unique as Egyptians in Indonesia, in Germany, in America. I stood out in my English class. I was getting the best grades in the English class in the United States. So this gave me always the goal of being on the top, of raising my standards every time I go somewhere, of meeting the challenges of cultures, meeting the challenges of different people and different settings, and stand out. Stand out by being worth it, by studying, by learning, by developing myself, and being confident. And confidence always comes from knowledge and from development. You have to be worth the confidence that you want to aspire for. But in order to succeed, you have to have the confidence, you have to leave a mark, and as you succeed and as you grow, it puts more responsibility on your side. I mean, yes, I've been voted one of the 50 most influential women for Egypt. It's an honor. I've met so many influential women because this is, has been going on since 2016. So I saw 50 and 50 and 50 women who are incredibly remarkable. So in order to keep up with the pace, it puts more responsibility to keep up and maintain your position. What I would like to say also is that part of success is to stay connected. You have that access, you have the access to ministers, to doctors like Dr. Okasha, to, I know that Tariq Amer was here also a couple of weeks ago. Access to these influential figures is very important. Access and connection to people is very important because it expands your horizon, it expands your only influence. And also it grows your influence and your capacity to understand and learn from other experts. So keep on learning, keep on developing yourself, give to others. I think I also have the opportunity to give to the community. Public and government affairs is not just speaking to government officials or advocating for the company's issues, but also it gives me the opportunity to create and establish community programs that makes me go down to the ground and meet the community, see the needs of our country. زي ما بيقولوا بشمر ايدي وبنزل مش as a manager you don't have to just be a manager, you have to go down and feel what's going on the ground in order to understand yourself, understand your true north. That's the key to success. Also know yourself, know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses or the areas of development that you need to work on. If you identify that, it helps you to grow more and more. I don't know who taught me this, but even when I was younger, every night when I go home, I sit and I analyze what went through the day. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? And how can I perfect it and make it better? So I think you have a lot of potential. You have, يعني لو عايزين tips for success, you can really access it on the internet. موجودة كتير قوي, mentors put it. But it's finding yourself and finding what your true strength is, what your goals and your passion is. Because if you have a goal and you have a commitment towards this goal, you're going to make it happen. Even if the challenges faces you, you have to get out of the challenge, face it, come up stronger and stronger and be successful. So thank you for the opportunity and best of luck.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to have a quick Q&A session if any of you want to have questions to ask. Hi, Our first question is to Dr. Shawqi. Dear sir, perfection is a goal that demands hard work. What is your plan to reach perfection in the educational system? It's a difficult question, but you could try answering.
Perfection in the education system, that's a tough goal. No, I think I said from day one, I consider the national education system is really in bad shape. It's like a patient on support system. So first we have to remove the equipment and make sure the patient can live without the support. Then energize it and make it stand up and be healthy again. But so we are far from that goal. We are trying, and that's why we decided that there is no way to achieve perfection with the current complex creature we have built. And the complexity is something that you wouldn't know until you come close. It's very hard. You can guess, but the amount of problems are far beyond what I can really explain in simple terms. everything, the entire system, the administration, the teachers, the laws under it, and the incentives, everything. It's more complex than the curricula and assessment and stuff like that. Those are the easy parts. But the people element, the human element, is more complex. It's much harder to solve. We're trying to really go crazy, and we got the approval from the top, we are lucky that the political leadership is supporting such disruptive solution by really building a new education system. And this is easier said than done. We have been working for more than 10 months now on this. We got a plain sheet of paper, tried to imagine that perfect system as much as we can. And we have gone a long way and convinced everybody against huge resistance, incredible resistance, to start it. And we got the cabinet to approve it only 8 days ago. Approve it in writing. So this is now gonna happen. So in September, and we don't sleep because we are under great pressure to deliver that for 2.5 million kids, and we really take that responsibility very seriously. We hope to provide them with the right skills, the right way, and excite teachers, excite the administrators, use the people we have to reach something. It will take a while, but we are rebuilding. It's more than a change in the education system. It's really a change in our culture, thinking. القماشة كلها محتاجة تغيير الحقيقة يعني. فالمشاكل أوسع كتير من التربية والتعليم. بس we are trying.
This is another question to build on the previous question. How do you want to implement the American model of learning in Egypt while Egypt suffers from lack of technology and the importance of education?
No, I think we can do it, and we have plans that will try to really leapfrog and take us from where we are to very nice spots rather quickly. I think we do have decent technology. I'm not worried about that. And the best asset we have is our young people. Our young people are talented, are good, are just lacking the chance. And we want to give them the chance, empower them. Forget what the adults are saying. I am thinking more like them. So I side with the young people. The adults are the reason we are at this point. They took the decisions that led us here. And I'm not listening to them at all. I'm listening to the young people and catering for them. So no, we have something that will happen at high schools. I think will get us quick results very quickly. And actually, I'm invited to Paris by a huge community. Everybody is there. It's called the Mobile Learning Week. It starts today, actually. But the opening session is in the morning at 10 o'clock. I have to deliver that speech. Don't ask me how, in Paris. But it's about, they want to know what we are doing in Egypt, believe it or not. Because we are using technology very heavily in next September for kids in high school. And we'll just penetrate villages and places. We go to the poorest places, so we'll just make it happen. And we won't let it go until it happens. So, inshallah.
This is Dr. Ahmed Okesha. What is the mental illness do you find becoming more common and why?
تستغربوا جدا. You'll be very surprised to know that at the moment, the greatest burden of disease, all diseases, in 218 as compared with 230, number one burden of disease means, according to the WHO, how many years are lost because of the illness and premature mortality. Number one among women now is depression. Because you may have cancer and you go to work. You may have dialysis, renal dialysis, and you go to work. You have rheumatoid, you go to work. You have hemiplegia, you go to work. But if you have depression, you can't enjoy any pleasure or work. So you stop work. But if you have bronchiectasis, if you have lung cancer, you will go to work. But depression, you cannot. And now for men, it is number 4. Number 1 at the moment is cardiovascular, then chronic respiratory disease. This is now. But in 2030, all of us, the burden will be depression. Depression all over the world is about 4 to 6% of the population will develop. And regrettably, women have it twice as men, depression, because you do the job of a man and a woman. You are more dominant than the man. The man, yes. I mean, you bring up children, you are a teacher, you are a cook, you teach, you are pregnant, you lactate, you serve your husband, and you do the same work as he does. He does not lactate, he does not become pregnant, and he does not teach his children. So you are doing more work. The new research work that if you are married for 30 years or more, and the husband and the wife dies, the husband will die in the next 3 to 4 years because he is so dependent on the woman and he doesn't know it. When she is absent, he knows that he is nobody, he's nonsense. If the husband dies, this does not affect the wife, she will live for good. بص للأهرام أتحداك إذا لقيت واحدة ميتة مش حرم المرحوم وأتحداك إن واحد ميت مراته موجودة عايش فبالتالي the highest rate is depression followed by anxiety followed by other things, but the burden of mental illness is more than the burden of cancer, pulmonary disease and rheumatoid and so on. Because you have to understand that if you have a chronic medical condition, if you have Parkinsonism, if you have hemiplegia, if you have cancer, if you have myocardial infarction, the possibility of having severe depression with the medical illness is ranging between 30 and 40%. And the patient wants to recover from depression, not from his cancer. At one time, cancer doctors used to refer patients to me long time ago, and very important people. They tell them they're okay, it's only depression. They have depression, yes, but they lived completely because it is a terminal cancer. And treat them from depression, they will die happily. They will die happily. So the best thing, and this is something I would like to say, remember what I'm saying now, medicine of the future is not medicine for the organ, it's medicine for the person. If you go to a chest physician, you are chest. If you go to a heart physician, you are a heart. If you go to bowels, if you are to kidney. So, and this is one of the main things that I have chosen, this specialty. I was from the first 5 people in the بكالوريوس في الطب والعميد كان يقرب لأمي كلمها قال لها أحمد عنده جراحة وعنده بطنة وعنده أمراض نسا وعنده رمد وهياخد المجانين وما عندناش we don't have a department. بس فاللي حصل ان كان اشتغلت جراحة بصيت لقيت الدكتور بيقول لي وضب لنا بكره يا احمد 2 هرنيا واحدة جول بلادر وواحدة بايلز وواحدة ثايرويد اسمه يا فندم جرايه اسمه يعني جيب خلاص رحت اشتغلت رمد عاوزين 2 جلوكوما بواحدة كاتراكت يا دكتور يعني يا احمد انت هتعرضني جيبه وبعدين بيفتحوا على العين بس ما يعرفش مين هو والجراح يفتح على الهرنيا قلت له يا فندم يعني حتى ضحك قوي كان الدكتور فYouture عندنا هو كان تركي قال لي يعني قلت له يعني هو اسمه مثلا محمد بواسير علي جويتر محمد فتاء هرنيا ضحك قال لي you are very funny prepare the patient that's فبالتالي الطب القادم it's for the person عشان كده كل الماس ميديا ضد الدكاتره في العالم بحاله ضد الاطباء because we started to leave the person and look. That's why ما فيش حاجة اسمها كيور في الطب يا جماعة، خلاص تصدقوش. في quality of life وما فيش حاجة اسمها treatment بعد كده، في prevention. We don't treat any. انت عندك diabetes هتموت بدايابيتس، عندك سكر هتموت بسكر، عندك قلب هتموت بالقلب، عندك كلية هتموت بالكلية. We just give symptomatic treatment. Symptomatic للsymptoms. دي مهمة قوي عشان تعرفوها قدام. ليه؟ لأنك أنت بص باستمرار للكواليتي اوف لايف. إيه يعني ما أنت عاوز تعيش واحد ما بيتكلمش، ما بيشوفش، ما بيعملش أي شيء وجاله ألزهايمر ويعيش 10 سنين. حرام. حرام. You have to accept that death is a very, very welcome thing. And we live as much as we can.
Okay, this is a personal question. For a woman to have a powerful position in the future, what are the steps that should be taken now other than being ambitious and study hard? A 22-year-old girl.
Okay. طبعا they always say it's a man's world, and women have to strive. As Dr. Akasha says, the women have lots of challenges. They have to be successful at home, bring out successful kids, take care of their husbands, take care of their homes, and take care of themselves and their careers. It's a tough world for the women, but women are resilient and really can multitask and can really organize themselves. In order to, وبرضه هرجع أقول, in your generation, the 22-year-old who's speaking, it's easier for you than it was for us. As I started my work life for ExxonMobil, I was a normal employee, and my boss was very much a believer of my potential and my capabilities. And when he moved out, he promoted me to his position. And at that time, I was in the accounting and finance, and I became the treasurer of Egypt, Middle East, and North Africa. The accounting and finance department was all men managers. So the first meeting for me to sit on that table with the men managers, it was like they could not accept me there. They just didn't see me as fit to be sitting with them and taking decisions or saying my opinion. And I went out from that meeting feeling very bad, and closed the door of my office, and I was like, how am I going to cope with that? I became resilient. I became blind, or gender blind, as you would say. I would go out, feel as if I'm exactly like them. The smile is on my face. My weakness is not there. Being very objective, and stopped being personal. Looking at people at the workplace and looking at them professionally rather than personally, looking at them as if they demean you because you're a female makes you even weaker. But if you stand up and you feel that your potential brings you up to their standards and your expertise brings you up to their standards, that makes you more confident and you can fight the fight. It is known that when females are selected for the job, they are selected for their experience. Did they do it before? Do they know how to do it? Whereas men, when they're selected for a position, they're selected because of their potential. They can do it. Yeah, he has the potential to do it. So what's now what we can see, even in Egypt, and it's very promising, you have 6 minister females in very, very challenging ministries. This is a development for the country, for Egypt, and I think it's also being replicated or copied in many of the multinationals, the private sector. And even in the banking sector, you find the leading positions are all females. The NGOs, females. Many of the government sectors, and I think teachers, many of them are females. They are capable. So females now are proving themselves by doing the right thing, by developing themselves. It's even harder for them to prove themselves in a man's world, but I still believe the progress of women does not happen without the support of the men. The he for the she is very important. We always say if my husband wasn't supportive, if my father did not invest in my education, if my mother did not support me, if my brother did not look up to me, if my boss did not see my capabilities and help me through, it wouldn't have happened. There has to be the he for the she. So we have to advocate with the males to support the females. And it's happening, it's changing in many places, but it's going to come soon, and it's going to be better for you, 22-year-old girl.
Our next question is for Dr. Shawki. How can individuals contribute in developing the educational system of public schools for greater impact?
Well, that's a very good question. We are struggling with that. We are trying to, we need actually a lot of help. Apparently the existing ministry, just for you to know, the Ministry of Education has 1.7 million employees. It's exactly, I think it's about 40% of the entire government, which has 4.3 million employees. We have 1.7 just in this ministry. The problem is they ran the old system, they managed the old system, and now we are trying, the most difficult part of this surgery is we are trying to tell them, no, but we don't like this product, we want to change this product. And there is a lot of internal resistance. There is also, we discovered a lot of problems outside of the ministry at the societal level. There are lots of young parents who need to be talked to. They define success in strange ways, and we realized that people don't know what learning means or what education is. All they care about are credentials, not learning. They are happy having numbers that mean nothing. They just, and one mom wrote to me, my son is in 9th grade, she wrote that on Facebook with like thousands of people reading. She's saying, my son doesn't understand, doesn't think, doesn't know how to think. Stay away with your 21st century skills. I need to secure a place for my son in college. So now she's acknowledging the problem, but she doesn't care. She cares about the place in college. Although it's fake, means nothing, she didn't serve her child at all. But that's not a single person's opinion. That's actually, we have groups on Facebook, thousands and thousands of people, and huge resistance to any change in the right direction. So we need to talk to people. We need the societal dialogue about what we are speaking about in this small room. We need a lot of help. We are still trying to decide on the mechanics of how to do that, to answer the question, but we'll ask for it very soon. We need volunteers to teach. The teachers we have, some of them are very good, but many are not qualified whatsoever. And we cannot deliver all these nice ideas without good role models. So we need young people in the classrooms. We need you to contribute to the success of this model. How we are going to think about that, put it in some structure to be able to implement it, but you will soon hear requests from us for volunteers. We need young graduates from AUC to get in class, because it's just enough for the kids to see that role model, to want to be like you, and so on. We have some teachers, honestly, who I don't want them to touch the classroom. They are not the good role model. Sometimes I feel I want to tell the kids, you see this teacher? Don't do anything like them. I mean, it's just, it's not, it's a tough problem. It's a tough problem. We have 1.3 million of them. They are government employees, but they contribute to the problem we have. And it's a big story, but we need to inject the society into this process. We need you in there. We need all the motivated young people to contribute, even for a month, for 2 months, and to hand it over to another. But we need you with us in class to show the kids. The kids I worry about are those who didn't have good parents at home. I was lucky to have my father and grandfather who affected me, but I didn't choose that. I was lucky to have that. Some of them don't have this chance, and they're very good. So I worry about them. They don't have parents behind them or a good teacher in school, I mean, they are doomed. So we have to provide them with an alternative. And those are the ones we worry about. So there is a lot that will happen in the next 2 or 3 months, and we'll take that to heart and try to find a channel for you to help. We'll be more than happy to receive that help. Actually, we need it.
I would like to comment on this question and to Dr. Tara. I think many private sector companies and multinational, with the help of several NGOs, are focusing on education and trying to help. For ExxonMobil, for example, our focus is really on education and the development of the next generation. We work with very credible NGOs into developing the capacity of the teachers, because I think we are doing a lot to develop the students, but the pipeline is growing and they face the fact that the teachers are not absorbing that and they're not helping them. So developing the capacity of the teachers by the private sector could help a lot. And this is an area where CSR could be focused, and it could be a call because it's the nation's focus now. So individuals, yes, it's of course a big asset, but with the help of private sector and NGOs who are focusing on education would help a lot. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for all the input that you helped us see what we need to add to the future. I'd like to invite Dr. Ashraf Hatem to give his closing remarks.
Thank you all. On behalf of the AUC, I would thank everybody, especially the students and our esteemed guests. Thank you very much. دكتور عكاشة أستاذي طول عمره، يعني كل مرة بسمعه بحب أسمعه كمان وكمان وكمان من أيام ما كنت طالب صغير. دايما كان في الأصل العيني وعين شمس زي الأهلي والزمالك كده، مش هقول مين الأهلي ومين الزمالك، ما عدا في الطب النفسي بس في عكاشة واحد بس، فهو في الاثنين. دكتور طارق من ساعة ما شفته وهو بيحلم إنه يعمل حاجة جديدة. هو عنده الفرصة دلوقتي to achieve his dream. ربنا معاه واحنا كلنا معاه إن شاء الله. أستاذة نهاد شلباية، يعني حاجة كويسة إن احنا يبقى معانا واحدة من التوب 50 women في مصر، والأي سي كلها توب 50s كلهم جامدين قوي. يعني مش عارف الدكتور إيهاب قادر يشتغل معاهم إزاي، لكن يعني ربنا معاك. At last I want to thank the PAL team. PAL team عملوا شغل كبير جدا. إيميلي وهاشم ومحمد المناوي، ومحمد المناوي ده حفيد الدكتور المناوي يا دكتور أحمد، يعني وبقية الجروب كله. Thank you very much and we hope يعني إن احنا نتقابل كتير بعد كده. Thank you.